Hey there, Sight Hey. I will be the guy who always holds the green-orange hands in front of the camera. So, what do we have here today? Diana, Chaser. Oh right, I need to say hi from down here somewhere. An airbag. A Diana airbag. In this context, the t-shirt is a huge joke. Airbug. Ha 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 ha. Yes. The airbag has been here for a while, and somehow I've always put it off. On top of that, right now, well, today and tomorrow are summer, which means, in plain terms, it's 29 degrees outside. And in here, we haven't even reached 30 degrees yet. And that's how I can never work. Well, anyway, I actually sat down the other day, finally did it, and I'm glad I did because it was actually surprisingly nice. I think we can agree that this is one of the most horrible devices ever invented in the world. But the handle is really nice to the touch. And I'm not saying that just because I'm wearing gloves right now. I don't even notice it. It actually feels good to the touch. And it looks horrible, but it feels good. If you can find someone to sand it down so that you're actually touching bare wood and not the paint on it, then it would be a really good handle. At least for my hand size, it just about works. And I would just say, I'll read you the gun as always first. Please use standard size cylinders. Also, the capsules are called cylinders, in their case. Do not tighten the cap. The cylinder is slightly punctured. Yes, I don't know what that's about, but whenever it's under pressure, it's anyway hard to tighten the thing further. They probably come with a pipe wrench. The labeling is for American. It says on the barrel. Notice it on the barrel, that's always important. Caliber 4.5 or 177 according to German firearms law. And here it says again caliber 4.5 mm. And a flat-nosed Diabolo is depicted. This can be interpreted as expecting a flat head. But as far as I know, it also shoots wonderfully with round heads. AF sign, a kilometer-long serial number, as is common with Diana lately. Then it says Peaky on top. Why is there still a red dot sight on it? What do you mean still? There is already a red dot sight on it. But when I hold something up to the camera, it usually no longer has a red dot sight on it. The fact that there is still one on means that the good piece might stay with me for a while. So far, I actually find it quite okay. Other side, that can be brief. It says Diana airbag. Yes, very surprising, I know. Yes, we are already done with the reading. That goes really quickly. Yes. Yes. We are actually dealing with a chaser here. I happen to have one here. And when you hold the two exactly on top of each other, 2001, yes, I can do that easily. If you have a sight on it, you will find the chaser and airbug are basically completely identical. If I had a bandit here now, I would probably find out that it is also completely identical. Both have this magnet-supported feature. I can take out a magnet-supported single loader. And if you own one extra, no, they are of course not included in the delivery. You have to buy them separately. How many shots are in there? 9, 10. I don't know exactly. You can put it into a magazine here. It also makes a click because it is held by a magnet. And then you can repeat. So, does it make sense? No idea, but it obviously sells. So it must be fun. You send... Yes, a loud, energetic bang comes out of here. What about this? Do I still have a capsule stuck in here? No. If it can be turned so easily, then no. I'll just leave it here. But in terms of content, it doesn't really have much to do with it now, even though it's practically the same gun. This grip is already 1,000 times better than this one. This grip is meant to create a stop that you can attach to. Otherwise, it feels really bad. My form is okay, but this notch back here, this growth, let's say, where the stop stock is supposed to go later, is so annoying when you just take the thing in your hand. It doesn't work at all. A plus point here is undoubtedly the silencer thread. The airbag is definitely missing that. Maybe it's hidden somewhere underneath the thread. Don't know that because I don't want to remove the GR just for that. I see a set screw down here, and I see a regular Allen screw up here. Probably the GR can be removed and replaced with the Allen screw. It is also a bit exposed, so I think it would break very easily. That's why it needs to be changed quickly, and it would be interesting to know if the same thread appears underneath when you unscrew it, because then you could also do something here. That would be good. Technically, when I took the chaser apart, I noticed this strange little pin that comes out here. People had to tell me that it's there to open and close this thing, because it makes it easier. So it has nothing to do with adjusting. It's only screwed in here at the front so that it doesn't come off. And I have to say that's very helpful. I must say I like it, because you really have to turn it quite a bit sometimes. Well, yes. Now I almost forgot to mention the sighting, since I took it off here. The sight can be removed with 2 little screws, and looks like this otherwise. It's mounted the same way. It's all the same in green. I actually think the sight is good. The rear sight cut is fitting. The GR fits. It's almost competition ready. Note the recessed grip. Here, there is also a slightly recessed grip. The sight is actually completely fine. I don't know if it's like this for everyone. So with this one, for example, nothing wobbles. It was different here. But this is also a used gun, as all my guns are actually always just used examples. The entire rear sight wobbled a bit. I suspect that it wasn't the front screw, but the rear screw, which you can only access after unscrewing the rear sight. That wasn't quite tight. And there was something else. Namely, I have the individual ones here. No, I packed them in a little bag. It's in the cupboard. If you look here, side screws do not protrude on the right and left. It was a bit different with this one, especially when I wanted to adjust the rear sight. I could screw here and nothing happened. Then I had to help it with my hand, and then I had to screw from the other side. Either a screw is broken, or these are sleeve screws that should fit into each other. So I assume that this rear sight is normally completely fine. It wasn't like that with my specimen. I assume it's used. The previous owner might have adjusted it. Maybe he also had an optic on it. I took the thing apart. What a pain. Yes. Otherwise, as I said, I really miss the suppressor thread here. The thing doesn't make any noise that would make the walls collapse, but if you have neighbors, for example, and they can be annoying, and suppressors are great. So it would really be great of me if I unscrewed it and took a look. Since I know that the internet community is huge and you just have to ask, maybe there's a suppressor thread underneath or a suppressor thread in the area. You can tell it's early in the morning. I started very early today because it's still, well, we only have 25 degrees inside, and it will get a bit warmer throughout the day. Yes, the trigger. The trigger is also quite important. The trigger is too hard. I have adjusted it down here, so you can access a screw from here. With this screw, you can obviously adjust the trigger. Well, the pull can be adjusted, or the trigger distance, that is, the amount of the catch lever that engages with the firing pin. Let's say, this is now, after I have adjusted it, very little. So you just press a little, and then it goes bang. But you still have to press that little bit. So for me, considering that I otherwise have a very good impression of this, the trigger resistance is too high. That may be a matter of taste, but well, so be it. You notice I have an optic mounted here. I hold it extra low. Yes, I have received complaints that I often hold it too high in front of the camera, which I have heard and ignored. But at least I'm holding it like this. You see, I fished out an optic from my grab box that actually fits right on top here, even though I apparently didn't mount it exactly the right length. But that doesn't matter at all. At least not for me. This is normally a Picatinny rail mount, and underneath is an 11mm to Picatinny converter. Otherwise, it is a bit flatter. In any case, that fits. So there are red dot sights that are a bit shorter. Personally, I need red dot sights because my poor old eyes can't tease out what you see on a target at 10 meters, even with shooting glasses on one hand and sharp sights on the other. That doesn't work so well, and that's why I really think red dot sights are great at the moment. Plus, it shoots too well. What does that mean again? Shoots too well. Too well to shoot it by tilting, at least for me. There, more safety. Does not happen automatically, but only with a regular safety. To secure, to safeguard. That means nothing is secured in the system at all. It is really only the trigger that is secured here. Yes, it doesn't matter. When I load it, I also shoot with it. I don't need any safety at all. Yes, what else is there to say? Wood, 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 wood. I think we should move on to the technical specifications. Why am I placing it down? This way, it rests on the cocking lever. That looks incredibly important, I would say. Let's start with that. 10 shots fired from a sitting position. Of course, you can't compare that with an air rifle. Still, this thing shoots better from a sitting position at 10 meters with a red dot sight and my shaky old hands than many air rifles I've had here. That impresses me. Believe I remember that the Chaser shot quite well back then too. But at that time, I didn't bother to screw a red dot sight on, as far as I remember. That means I assume that they are, because they are technically more or less identical, that they do not fall short in anything. The barrel length seems to be longer here. But that could also be related to the fact that the barrel thread is still attached here. Maybe it just looks longer. I'll hold it next to each other. Man, 2001, what I have here. So I would say the overall length is almost identical. This thing is maybe just half a centimeter longer. Half a centimeter, yes, I would say it's half a centimeter longer. So the possibility that there is a barrel thread underneath, I would really wish for a Chabak. Air Chaser, a mixture of both, so to speak. The grip with the barrel. The calibration doesn't change much, but it doesn't matter. That, in any case, is a real argument. I mean, try doing that with a loopy. Then we also had technical specifications here. Today, the note really makes sense because I can compare both with it. I got the Diana Urbach long series for $78 at Egan. That's actually okay. Not a sensational price, but completely fine. New price $120. As always, sometimes 10 more, sometimes 10 less. It always depends on where you ring. Jewel, come here. I haven't noted that down yet. And the Diana Chaser, which has a kilometer-long serial number, I shot for $59 at Egan. And the new price is $80. So one must say about both that you get something for relatively little money. You always have to see it in that context. Financially, what you get is not the world. That sounds somehow wrong. Financially, not the world. It is relatively little money, and you get relatively for it. At least that's what I mean. Normally, it is the case that air pistols are almost more expensive than air rifles, simply because probably you can take it. And here, I think the price-performance ratio is quite good. Now comes the crucial difference. 4.0 joules. 7 joules. I'll read that again more closely. I have my smart tablet here again. But around that, I believe 7 joules was the maximum that came out of it. There I have the Diana Urbach. Very nice. Show me the values. Here are the values, going down. 0.2 joules, 6.1, 6.1, 6.1, 6.1, 6.0, 6.0, 6.1, 6.1, 6.1, 5.7, 5.9, 5.9, 5.7, 5.6, 5.7, 5.9, 6.0, 5.9, 5.7, 5.6, 5.7, 5.9, 6.0. That was now 17 measured values. A lot of values were missed, because my measuring device didn't like that very much. The radar Crony, normally it measures everything that comes, here, I really had to place the barrel on the measuring device. There is a V-shaped attachment on the front. I really had to put it on there. Then it measured every shot. But before that, it was somehow off in the direction. But it didn't do that. But didn't carry on, so not 7. I dreamed. I hoped for 7. It shot around 6. 6.1 was 1, with 6.2 included. It's not the end of the world, but I specifically looked at my notes here and saw the loopies can all achieve. And I have to say, that's little. So 6.0, I actually find nothing here. My expensive hammer, the 480K, the competition one, at least makes 5.5 joules. But the rest, not so much. The steel balls from the pistols usually make around 2, 2.5, maybe 3 if it really goes high. And this one just makes 6. In Germany, one must say. Abroad it is, of course. Oh, no issue at all. But since both are technically basically identical, what is the reason why one shoots 4 and the other 6? One simply has to ask Umarex why. What is the difference? Where do I turn? Which screw do I turn to make it shoot 6 as well? I would be very interested. Another reason is that I would like a combination of both. The grip with the barrel. There are 3 set screws to change the barrel. However, the PTB approval then expires. Barrel is an essential weapon component for the PTB approval. I said approval again. Basically, the weapon is just registered, and then the PTB looks at it and says, yes, you can put an F mark on it. And the problem is, they keep the thing, and then it gets compared. And if there is ever a case of doubt and the barrel is on the thing, then it could be that the PDP says yes, but we don't have it like that. That wasn't agreed upon. That's not stated in the approval. Approval in the non-existent approval. 2001. And legally speaking, purely legally speaking, that would no longer be allowed. And then it would be a live firearm. It's trivial, I know. I always harp on it. But you know, German law is strict about weapons and officials. It can always happen that they say, yes, my God. But I would suspect, purely a guess, in such a case, the prosecutor wouldn't say, yes, okay, that's fine, here, take it. Rather, he would say, well, come on. I don't want to deal with the paperwork. The case will be closed and the weapon will be confiscated. Then it's gone. That would be stupid. I'm just mentioning this. It's purely hypothetical. Probably no one will ever test it and so on because it has F marks everywhere, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Will be it. Of course, one can also claim that now 1000 the barrel, this exchange barrel, is definitely for this weapon model. The good German official will find differences. So come on. I don't want to make a fuss about it. This shoots for me. I have to keep saying everything I talk about. I talk about this specific model. I can't say anything about the thing that was sold yesterday and not about what will be sold tomorrow. I can say something about this one specimen just like about this one specimen. 1000. Yes. Theoretically. All of this can be changed very quickly. And below 7.5 joules it is also legal to change it. The problem is they are modified in such a way that it can no longer be changed easily. I just notice here is a QB78 with a defective seal. And here something is glued so permanently that it really becomes a short piece to get it out. This probably also has to do with someone saying yes, they must be glued in such a way, 1000, that no one can ever get to them again. And now, unfortunately, they are constantly breaking. The QB78, such a beautiful, really good weapon, they just keep breaking. Yes, now we get to the valve to change a rotten seal. Have fun. Screw, steel, valve, aluminum. Congratulations. And in between some great adhesive. More about that sometime. I'll get the big soldering torch later and weld the thing apart and then... No, not that intense, but something in that direction will happen. Did I forget to mention any technical detail? The thing just shoots well. I was messing around with it yesterday. Just before this video, I just threw out the capsule, the cylinder, that I had from yesterday. There was still pressure on it, and I fired a lot of shots yesterday. I can only estimate it. So if only about 20 were measured, then you can say that I definitely shot 40 more before, and there is still steam left. So I didn't notice that it was really seriously declining. Yes, explained differently. The thing is ugly, but shoots well, and feels good in the hand. So, 120. New. He can't say anything? Anyone who buys one on eBay but buys one through eBay, that is in good technical condition and the price is right. I would say it will probably be much cheaper than the $78 because unfortunately everyone else knows that the thing is good. And yes, doesn't exactly help to shoot it cheaply. Shoot to shoot. My God, it's still too early in the morning. Seriously. So, I haven't forgotten anything. Nothing at all. Every time again I have the feeling that I should still do something. I have even already done the test bowl here, so to speak. Now I'll give you a click. The trigger travel is now really minimal. It is a dry trigger here, so nothing happens back here. There is no more advantage. It immediately says, when I pull the trigger, click, and the trigger hardly moves. This means that when I gas it up for the first time again, I have to be a little careful whether what I have set here is still reasonable under pressure. But overall, too hard. Of course, I would wish for it to start with just a mean look, like with my competition pistol. We don't have that here. It is what it is. And of course, in terms of size, as you can see, it is now 1000, not directly. Paid for my hands. You can tell by how far my trigger finger fits through with gloves. Actually, I should shoot in such a way that only the tip is on the trigger. That is always a bit difficult for me, especially when you have to apply a certain amount of pressure to get it to go. But that's always small stuff. We're talking about the 120 blow. Everything is fine. So, hypothetically, I could try to swap the two stocks. But 1000, I wouldn't know why that shouldn't work. Everything looks so damn similar. Yes, maybe someone has already taken them apart and compared them, and they are actually not that similar. But I believe both come from China. They are both Nope design. Just like the Storm Raider. The Storm Raider should be exactly the same, just with a longer barrel. The Bandit should be the same, of course, with compressed air attached at the bottom, but otherwise, completely the same. I think I remember, I'm not sure. There is even a variant where a competitive CO tank is underneath. But maybe I'm mistaken there as well. In the competition scene, CO is completely out. No one uses it anymore, and for good reason. Well, then I would say that's it. I'm still looking over it. Can't shake this feeling you forgot something. Now you should definitely say it. Yes, definitely. You need to like the video. It's crucial. A like is really just a mouse click. Not much. It's really not much to just give a like. And what isn't too much to ask is to subscribe to the channel, spread the word, make a banner, and stick it on your car. Yes, okay, that might be asking a bit much. Otherwise, I can't think of anything right now. Thank you very much. It should be summer vacation right now. So have fun. And yes, I wish you all again what you wish for me. As I always say, right. And there he is again. The old guy with the grey-orange hands. He mentions again this little hint, that he has to handle the camera all by himself, and then it's not much work. Only now, because I am smart and can handle technology, I hope, and this touchscreen here, that will also change soon. There is a huge monitor down there used with a 21:9 aspect ratio. No, who is that? What is the nation? I believe it's 21 to nation. 21:9 monitor, because the main monitor for the computer is facing the opposite direction. You can't see it, it's right behind the camera. 2001, and look there. And I have to be able to operate it from here, at least via touchscreen, and that is 16:9. Now I have two options. I can extend it, which means I have to slide over with the mouse and the program, but I can't see that because the small monitor is facing this way. Or I can mirror the monitor, then it always says 16:9 here. Let's first reposition the monitor. This is really getting annoying, especially because I have the entire resolution of the Purdue at 2000-1000, and that's why I said a used 21:9 monitor from commercial stocks, which however does not have a touchscreen, so I have to use the Portal again. What is the name of the Portal? I have to use an old phone that I can use as a touchscreen replacement so that I can control the function. By the way, this works wonderfully with OBS Studio. All functions are really designed for exactly that. It's Portal Studio Usand. Anyway, if you want to know, I'll write it down later. I use it like the flight simulator. Otherwise, I have several of these tablets that I can use to operate the entire airplane with touchscreen. How long has it been now? 25 minutes? Okay, I've stretched the time, you can tell. I take my leave, pointing out that it is definitely too warm. I need an air conditioner up here. And a proper one, not one that just sucks in everything from the room and makes it cold, but it has to be something that I can transport outside without pulling in new air from outside. Can I afford something like that? I don't know. Do I want to afford something like that? They have to arrive with a crane here just to screw the air conditioner onto the first floor level outside with ease. Yeah, that would be it, because I can close it up here again today, and so wave, a button. That will be a new saying here. Button. You send.